When faced with adversity, sometimes those challenges and experiences can bury us. On the other hand, we can use those experiences to further drive us and fuel us to propel us forward. And that's exactly what my friend Diego did. He recently was fired from an industry that he had been working in for many years, and he used this experience and he took it as an opportunity to start his own business. I hope you enjoy this previously recorded message where we talk about his new business of detailing cars, and we use it as a metaphor for life.
So I'm here with my friend Diego, and you can tell as much as you want, or you don't have to say it, like you don't have to talk about anything you don't want. But originally what I wanted to talk to you about was the Instagram post that you posted, and then we talked about that. So you can talk about that if you want, and get into it. But also like what you just recently said that like really stuck with me. So Diego just started his own detailing company, right? And like what I wanted to talk to you about, because I think about it a lot, is the concept of ganas that like Mexicans talk about a lot about. And then you mentioned that you don't want to force people to get their car detailed. You want to educate them on how it impacts their life and what difference it makes. And like I wanted to take that as an example of like almost like life too, like living, right? Like why those little details matter. So I guess if you want to tell how you came to start your own business and what your goal with it is, or again, whatever you want to share.
I mean, starting this business was a lesson of life of just losing a job and figuring out what to do. Educating, it comes from, I learned at the brewery, at Deep Column. At the festival, usually I will see the Mexicans coming in like, hey, the beer tastes bad, like, you know, I want a Corona, I want a Modelo. And I'm like, there's Stella Blonde, where I was like, there's a Nito, you want to try it? They're like, no, I don't like that, like, where can I get a Corona? I'm like, just give it a try. They're like, okay, and I give them a Nito, because I kind of knew it was pretty similar. They would try it, they were like, oh, like, this is good. So it's like, you start educating.
Yeah.
That it's like, hey, you have to get out of your comfort zone of your, regular beers, and that's fine if you like them, but never judge something that you've never tried.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. Yeah.
And then I started doing like tours for friends and stuff like that. And what I started seeing at Deep Column was like, friends would consume a lot more the craft beer just for the experience of having a tour and how the beer is being made.
Yeah.
So when I started working at Manhattan, it's like, okay, so this is educating people how to do, how beer is being made and why craft beer is important to the society, right? It's like, it's these big companies, but there's also these companies that care, and there's also people putting the grain, there's people, like steering. It's like, it's just not many times we just go somewhere, it's like, it's a beer and that's how you see it. And probably there's a lot of people that, go and try to see the glass and it's like, oh, that's it. Like they don't put a value until they see the full process of it.
Right.
So after that, like that detailing is the same thing. It's like I was telling you, like the little things are that matters. Like I'm not selling, hey, have your car clean. Yeah, everyone wants to have the car clean, but it's like I'm educating. Like I was telling you, like it's gonna lose your value if you want to sell it at some point. Like the car from yesterday was like, it's a mess, and even though I did my job, it's like there's nothing much we can do.
Yeah.
It's like, but if you keep your car with a good value and you just want it for 5 years, you're probably gonna sell it for the same amount of money. Yeah. So I was like, keep your investments if you want to keep it at the same value. That way you don't lose much as.
Yeah, and I think not just that, but I mean, I don't know, not to sound materialistic, but you might as well enjoy what you have, right? Enjoy it your focus shouldn't be on reselling it. Why don't you enjoy it as the current owner now?
Yeah, and that's the other thing, right? I'm trying to see like me seeing these cars changing. I'm like, oh, like that car looks brand new.
Yeah.
You know, it's like when a customer comes and sits in the car, it's like, oh, it's like this is nice, even though they say it's clean, or it was clean before I got in. They're like, oh, I'm not that dirty. I'm like, it's all right. Like, leave that to the detailer, right? It's like, the detailer is gonna find the little details. But it's, you know, it's like it's been that pattern of, hey, like take care of what you have. You know, same thing with the power wash, and like that business is like your house.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, or if you live in an apartment, it's like, oh, the stairs are like have spider webs and stuff like that. Man, you're paying for that.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like, or your like the driveway from my house was like really dirty, or you know, the house had like the mold and stuff like that. At the brewery, we had mold. You know, like, and it's like, hey, this is not sanitary.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, but we don't see it because we start thinking that this is normal. You know, it's like the dirty car start being a normal thing as everyday drive, but it's not normal, right? It's like, you know, your room, it's like, can be dirty, but it's like, you make it normal, it's always gonna be dirty. It's just gonna get dirtier and dirtier and dirtier. But if you decided to clean it up, it's like, clean it. And the detailing is also like educating that you can do the job. You know, like, I can show you how to do it, but do you have 4 hours to do it? You know, like, if you have 4 hours,
do you have the equipment? You know,
it's more about, I think it's more about the time.
Yeah. Okay.
Than equipment. It's and knowing how to work. It's just like, it's really, it takes like 4 hours, even though the car looks clean. Like, there's gonna be like small things that it's like, it just stay there, it becomes a bacteria, you know. It's like, it's your everyday drive. And from the articles I've been reading, like, you spend maybe 30% of your life.
Oh yeah, I mean, in your car. It took me an hour to get here today after work.
So it's like, your vehicle is one of the most important things.
No, I mean, that's and I think so before I get there, coming from more of a frugal family, I'll say, and upbringing, we have like, my dad would like, no, you'll puedo hacer esto. I'm like, okay, well then do it. Or if you can do it, why haven't you done it?
Right? My dad wants to come with me and work with me, and he's now seeing what it can be done.
Okay.
No, because he does detailing, but he works for a company, and he gets paid probably $140 a day. You know, it's like, and he probably does like 3 detailing, and they charge like $500 each because it's kind of recognized. And it's like, he's like, how many cars you did? I'm like, I did 2. How much did you make? Oh, like $400. So he gets upset. You know, it's like that thing. And I'm like, well, you can also do it. And he's like, yeah, but you don't want to help me and stuff like that. I'm like, it's there, right? It's like, I mean, go and look for customers, but it's like, we all, like I was telling you, like, we, as a Hispanic community, we want the comfort of the job to be there, and we don't care how much we get paid.
Yeah,
but
so
it's like, we know we're gonna be working for.
Yeah, and I deal with that too. So, but so 2 things. So earlier you had mentioned that somebody was critical of your prices, that you're too high, right? And I was telling you that at some point, hopefully, if you land bigger clients, specifically here in Dallas, that maybe that's cheap and you're gonna have to go up even higher. And I think, I don't know if you've experienced it, but oftentimes from what I see, there's a lot of mindset of like, why are you not empowering the Latino by like helping us out? We can't afford that. So twofold is like, I would argue, why not empower the Latino being you and saying, no, he should be charging those prices to help him out, right? Like, we should be championing your win.
Yeah.
And then the other aspect of it is, how do you convince, I mean, I guess ultimately if you can't afford it, you can't afford it. Like, if obviously like putting bread on the table is more important or whatever, but how do you convince a fellow Latino, I'll say, that you deserve something like this too?
It's my mentality comes a lot of this comes from when I joined Evolve.
When you joined what?
Evolve.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So it was like $200, you know, going into this gym, and I'm like, why not just pay $30 for LA Fitness?
Right.
You know, it's like, it's a lot cheaper. There's a lot of machines.
Yeah.
So a friend and I would talk about it, and it's like, man, we spend sometimes going out on the weekend.
Yeah.
$200.
Yeah.
For what? For nothing. You know, you get a hangover next day. You get like this. This is a transformation that you can use for a month. You know, like you can go work out for an hour and go out. Like the rest of your time is yours.
Yeah.
When you go to the gym, like you usually put your headphones, like you know, like and lose a lot of time. And usually a lot of machines are taken and it's like stuff like that. Like it's you know you have to find the perfect time. So it comes back to the same value of like it's not just Latinos. Like we need to find what we value. Like
Absolutely.
What we care. Like if you don't care about your car, like then it's fine. Like it's like you can get another person that is gonna be cheaper, but maybe the work quality is not gonna be the same.
Yeah.
Right. It's like that's what you need to look for. Like it's someone you trust on your vehicle, someone that is like this is are the prices, and it's like if you don't want to pay for it, like it's fine.
Yeah.
You know, it's like but the people that are getting this service is they know that we're taking care of something. So it's like kind of the value that you put on is like because you understand the business and you understand that you had to put an effort to someone's vehicle and they're trusting you on all of this stuff. So it's like the Latino community on the other side of they tried to do it cheaper. Like that was your other question.
Yeah.
So it's like it's just a competition of they just want the job, right? They just want a job. Like it doesn't matter if it's underpaying them, but it's like they just want to stay there, and they forget that they are good workers.
Yeah.
And they add a lot of values to a lot of the companies and society, but they don't. They're feared to speak up. They're feared to
absolutely
to say something because it's like we have been under this circumstances of no, like you don't have the power. Like, and then you know we see successful Hispanic like movie stars or you know singers and stuff. Like we're proud of them, but it's like when is our time?
Yeah,
It's like why we always keep looking up. Like it's the time is now. Like it's not tomorrow. It's right now. So if you keep waiting for that miracle to happen, you're gonna keep waiting your whole life.
Yeah.
You know? So some other people are lucky, like they have chances, but
I think you're right. I think luck has something to do with it, but at some point, like again, we talk a lot about ganas. Like you have to be you, and something my parents always used to tell me. Like I would always talk about these big dreams and everything. It's like tienes que tener los pies en la tierra, and I'm like okay, but then you're looking up, right? Like why can't I be the one up there, right? And like what I always tell them is, and I think they've done a great job, but is like trust the training or how you raised me. And know that I have those same work ethics or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm just doing it because I'm in a different position, different time in the world. I'm doing it this way, you know. And I think what I like about what you did is you're being transparent. It's like hey, you don't have to pay me. Like I think one of the things I liked that you said earlier was this isn't for everybody, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that again goes to anything and everything. We don't have to evoke who we are or what we believe in. Other people, we talked about running, that like some people are like, well, I don't want to do that. I'm like, okay, cool. Well, then don't.
Yeah.
But then as over time, they started running because they see you doing it.
It's I mean, passion. It's always nice when you have a passion. You want everyone to do whatever you want to do. Right? It's like, but I did was in the process of just like understanding like this is not like running is not for everyone. Like paying prices like that is not for everyone. Like you know, it's like even for running a marathon, it's like $180. You know, like you go and run and you don't get anything. Like it's a shared medal. Like but it's just the experience that you're gonna have, right? It's the experience in life that you're paying for.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's like, so for me, it's like a lot of these things is just what are you gonna put value on? We can put value on many things. Like we can either buy $1 taco and it's gonna be the best taco ever, and we can go buy the $5 taco. They're overselling. I know when I go buy other tacos, it's like this is not a taco.
Yeah.
You know, it's like this is not
But again,
what I
it's that
want.
experience, right? Like, and you know, some people provide a better experience than others, right?
Yeah, but it's like you get other people that are willing to buy this fake taco for $5 because it looks nice and looks pretty. I'm like, well, you do you, man. Like it's
Yeah. No, I agree.
It's like, and I'm like, why these taco places are delicious? Why they don't price the the
Well,
prices?
and going back to like the Latinos and everything, but so we get a lot. I mean, Dallas is a big city, and we get a lot of people that come in and want to visit. And there's this competition. When I first moved here, like I'm around a lot of affluent people, and they're like, "Oh yeah, these are the best tacos." I'm like no, like I know where the best tacos are, and I guarantee you would love them too. And I'll bring them to them.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Well, where is this?" I'm like, "I could tell you, but you don't want to go there.
Yeah.
I guarantee you won't want to go there, right?" Like,
Yeah. And it's
but what is the experience? Are you going for an experience or are you going for the taco, right? I talk
Yeah.
with my wife about that all the time. And I think what you're evoking, not just with the detailing or just your message, I think in life in general is like, and that's why I think I'm attracted to your energy, for lack of a better term, is it's always the experience, right?
it's definitely like for me, it's like seeing the face of someone.
Yeah.
Having the car like look brand new, like it's like, that's enjoyable, right? It's like, and for them to have the experience of having a new car, like feeling again, it's like, oh, my car looks like this when I bought it, like it's or something that's like it's even better than when I bought it. It's
and I think like what I think of it as is because I'm thinking of you detailing my car, but is
we can do a video.
Yeah, we can do a video. We'll do a video for that. It's not for everyone, but what I think of it as like, okay, what if, like, do you need a new car if it's a good running car? No. But like the price of detailing is going to be significantly cheaper than buying a new car. You get the feeling, and then what I think of is like, okay, well, it's a nice clean car now. I don't want to like stop and get fast food or whatever. I get like no, like I'm gonna, I think it again, not for everybody, but it's a lifestyle change that puts you in a different perspective. So
it's like lately I've been seeing the exterior of the cars being beat up with scratches. It's just because we put it to the tonneau. Wash.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I didn't know that grade of damage that a car gets from it, and it's just because we want things fast and cheap. It's like, it's like, let's pass it to the tonneau. Like, I don't have time, and my car is gonna look clean for
a little bit
for the week, for the rest. But your car now has scratches.
Yeah.
Your car now has damages, and it's not a car wash trouble. It's your problem because you can either watch it yourself too. There's a lot of videos of how to wash a car. It might not be like, washing a car is not a big science, but do it yourself and see.
Yeah. No, I'll say I used to have not a little diss on Dallas, but because it's a convenience, like you don't have time, there's nowhere. Back when I was in the Midwest, like my car used to be super clean because you can stop and like do it yourself.
Yeah.
And here it's not, like there are busy roads.
Yeah.
And they're all big companies that like just go through
in there, and it's a trend too, right?
And if it's pretty light, they slap on the sticker. You're like membership $40. I mean, I have one right now. But you're like, damn. But no, I need the interior. Honestly, like the exterior could be it could be dirty, but it's an interior that you feel, right? Like,
the experience of the mobile detailing, it's more of, hey, like, you keep working, you keep doing whatever you have to do. We're just gonna go there, and whenever you get up from work, whenever you get, like, you're on the weekend, you don't have nothing to do, like, or you go into groceries, you just leave the car there, and whenever you come back, it's gonna be clean. Like, it's also for these people that just want the things go, like, they don't have the time. And we're gonna be there. Like, we don't need water, we don't need electricity, we have everything. Like, it's covered on it. And I also started doing the eco wash. So eco wash is just not wasting water.
Yeah.
There's a chemical, there's some water. It's like you go through your car, it's like safe, and it's like it keeps it nice, and like it doesn't damage your car. That's awesome. And that's something that like everyone can do at their houses if they don't want to spend the money on it. Like just this internet, this YouTube, you can just do your research and be like, hey, I can keep my car clean, and it's gonna take me probably like 30 minutes to clean the exterior of the car. Like, you don't have to pay crazy money on it. It's like our job is to do it for you and be like, hey, this is your experience. This is like, so you can be doing whatever you're doing, and you still keep your car clean. Or the power wash is like your house clean. It's like, it's not like for the houses. It's also something like, it's really impressive how the molds are like.
Yeah, I mean, it's everywhere, all the vents.
You get allergies, you get all this stuff going on.
I have that.
And we don't notice. And then until like, like, oh, I'm having allergies, but around your house you have all these things going on. So those are the little details that I'm like, when you get into some business, you learn, and you educate people of why they need this, and it's up to them if they want it or not. Yeah. It might be some affordable ones. It's like, everything can be affordable if they talk and they want to do something. It's like communication is also a key on everything. It's like, but just be honest and like, hey, I can probably pay you half of it. I'll pay you the other half next month. Like, okay, that's good. It's like, but it's for us to just make sure like you don't lose the value of your part, and you don't lose the guts of like want to ride a new, like, we always like, oh, I want that car, I want the other car, I want this car. It's like, in the videos they usually put the interior. I was like, oh, nice, or clean. Yeah. And it's like, oh, my car is not like that. It's like, that was a quick answer. It's like, buy a new car.
Yeah. Well, and I think again, going back to like, enjoy what you have, right? Like, and again, and everybody does things differently, right? Like, I mean, I know, like, some of the, I said, very affluent people, but there's people that, I mean, I like cars. We have friends that can afford way better cars than we have, or but they just have like a simple car, because they don't, but still, I mean, like you said, I spend a lot of time in there. I want to enjoy that environment.
Yeah, like and you don't have to do deep detailing every week, every month. It's like, it's every 6 months if you keep it maintenance. You don't have to spend this crazy money. Yeah, because like, there's also like, just like the other package is just like, what, $60-$80 of just taking care of your car is clean. It's like, like, we're not detailing, but your car's gonna be clean. Interior, exterior. So it's like, there's prices for everything, but it's like, that detailing is one of the biggest things. It's like, and I say like, you go to the dentist and like, you never took care of the things. And it's like, oh, it's like, you need a deep cleaning. That's gonna be $3,000. Yeah. And it's like, do I really need it? I'm like, kind of, yeah. Like, when there's a sickness around, like, it's, you have to pay all this money because you need it. Like, so it's like, don't wait until that happens. Like, just keep maintaining something, something good. It's like, everything in life is like, just keep maintaining the stuff that you get and have a value on it. Yeah.
Something I want to kind of like, because I feel like we just brushed over it. So, like, I feel like the turnaround from you getting fired to you starting your own business was super quick, right? Like, and like we talked about, like, most people would have used that time to, like we said, like, bury themselves and like be depressed or whatever. But like, you just completely started your entire new company.
I feel like there's a lot of like, I don't think it's just quick. I think it's been a process of seeing people, like reading about successful people that I follow and I admire. Like this comedian, like Mexican comedian, Franco Escamilla, which every time he tells his story, I'm like, fuck yeah, man! Like, he acts always like so. Like, he always say, like, it's like, this is not luck, this is me every day working on it. It's like, this is me every day, like, having a rejections, having like this stuff, like, I was going to the bar and like, I was singing first and like, nobody would consume me. So maybe I do jokes and like, and it's like, start working out, like, like, he start putting his videos on YouTube and no one was doing it. It was like, hey, why are you doing that? Like, that's you're losing content. You're like, I don't care. I want people to see me. So that's when he did the big explosion. Right now, it's like, and it's like seeing people being successful, but seeing their human side, and see that they also struggle, and that's one thing that we always, when there's someone successful, we try to be like them, but we never see the struggle.
Yeah, so like, sorry to interrupt, and I don't want to make this about me, but I think that's what, like I told you, I started this YouTube channel because I wanted to prove to myself that I was okay with myself, and I wanted to document the journey. And it's easy to say, there's, you name any famous person, any millionaire or whatever, they can say the stupidest shit, and people are like, oh my god, it's funny, or like they're taking notes or whatever. I could say the exact same thing, you could say the exact same thing, like, who are you? Right? And I'm not saying I'm going to get there. I mean, cool if I do, but I want to document whatever the journey is, because I think I almost, like, it's nice, but it feels almost ingenuine or like bullshit when you finally get to the top to people like, hey, you'll make it.
Yeah.
Like, well, fuck, I want to see you struggle. Like, how was it easy? Was it hard? You know, like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, it's
seeing that human element.
It's on everything, right? It's like we always see the athletes, the successful people, and it's like the actors, like, they went to all this process of suffering, of rejection, of, like, I remember when I ran my first marathon, it's like January of 2018, I couldn't even run a mile. December of 2018, I did a marathon. And it's like, I put effort, I struggle, I lose weight, like but a lot of people just saw me finish that crossing line. Yeah. They just saw that Diego crossing the finish line. Yeah. They're like, oh, you're the 1% of the population that runs a marathon. I'm like, yeah, because a lot of people don't want to put the effort. Yeah. And then,
yeah, you're absolutely right.
And then there's, the fastest people, right? It's like, well, how do they get so fast? That's time and effort. Yeah. Like they also have family, they also have struggle, they also have all this stuff. But like, what is your priority? Like, what do you want? And right now, this business that I'm trying to figure it out is like, I'm putting the effort, I'm putting time, so one day it can be successful. Yeah. And it's like, it can be to that point where it's like, hey, I struggle, but it's like, I also want to share that everyone is able to do it, and that everyone's capable to do their dreams. And like, it doesn't matter your culture, it doesn't matter your language, it doesn't matter where you come from. Like, we all have struggles. Like, we all have privilege. Yeah. At some points, it's like, let's focus on the human side of everyone. And it's like being, hey, we are all equal. That we all have all these issues, and like success gets there with work. It's like it gets there.
Yeah, I mean, nothing can replace hard work. You can have all the talent in the world, but if you don't put the work in.
Yeah, you can be the greatest painter, but if you never put the work, you're never gonna find out. And that's also like one of the things that I have a few friends that have a friend that she likes to sing, and she sings pretty nice. And I think her mom or some of her family was like, "You sing ugly." So,
oh no, that was enough to kill her.
Yeah, and it's like, how do you wake that up again? Like, now it's insecurities. It's like there's a lot of stuff of, like, I see kids also, like, there's a future, and there's a documentary of money in Netflix. I don't know if you've seen it. It talks about money, and there's a football player, so he lost the position, and then he didn't know what to do with all the money. Just kidding. He was not playing anymore. They cut him. And then he hired a financial guy to see where he at. Long story short, he was like, at the end, he was teaching young people, like, it's like, hey, this is not everything about money. It's also how do you invest your money? How do you, like, when you're kids, we all want to party, we all want to hang out, we want to meet people, we want to travel. And I'm like, are you secure? Like, is this really what you want? Like, yes, it's like, it's a venture. We're young. Like, but there's more into it. Like, we start getting things that it's not necessary, right? It's like we, and that's kind of like, I hope at some point I can get to the young community of Latinos and kind of like be like, hey, you know, be like I was telling you, I want to get people and work out. I want to get people and get their minds out of like trouble homes, and you know, it's like if I can build a soccer team from kids that their parents doesn't have the time or don't have the money to pay for uniforms, to travel, to just like, hey, what can I do? There's a good community out there, and it's like, let's get the kids, you know, like their mind off whatever society wants, and like let's get them to see what they really want.
Yeah, and I think to go back to this metaphor of you detailing again, is let's say if someone spends $200 on cleaning or whatever, or let's even say up to $400 for cleaning, but they're not spending on going out or whatever, but like you deserve to treat yourself at some point and enjoy the rewards of the work you put in, right? And even if it's a crappier car or whatever, like it's again sounds cheesy, but it's what's on the inside that counts, right? And like, and I struggle with this with my own family of how, like, yes, you respect your parents, you respect your family, but how am I okay with who I am despite what even my parents say, you know? And I think no matter what, they'll support you. But let's say you, heaven forbid, have a family that doesn't. It's like, well, at the end of, like, the example I would always give is, like, me and my wife, like, she can be super proud of me, whatever, we sleep next together, like, she's super proud, but if I can't close my eyes and I'm not happy with who I am as a person, that's who I need to make sure is good, right?
Yeah, it's everything starts with inside what we have, right? It's like, it's not exterior, like everything's gonna start like going out, like it's like if you put a plant, you know, there's a seed coming out, and like we all see the flower bloom, but there's a lot of things going inside the plant, and that's, I think we forget to see the interior of everyone, but also ourselves. We look at the mirror, we just look the exterior, right? It's like, but there's thoughts, there's like, you know, there's thinking, there's like voices, there's a lot of things going on in ourselves that we're not aware, but we are aware of how we look, how we want to look. And it's like getting that mentality out of, hey, like, what's inside of me? Like, one of the things I learned is like, I was having a meditation class, and they were like, get 5 minutes of quietness during the day and see how hard that is.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be the first to say, yeah,
it's hard, man. Yeah. It's 5 minutes.
Yeah,
and it's for yourself. You know, it's like quiet time. It's so hard.
Yeah,
like you get your phone, you get everything else. Like, but when you learn how to master that, like everything starts getting in place. It's like that's one step. It's like everything has steps, right? Like we cannot jump from this A to B. It has to be a step to B. Yeah, to get to B. Like it might not be easy, but it's like you have to put effort. You have to put, las ganas. You have to
And ironically, the video I posted yesterday was almost like a form of meditation. Like it was about visualization, right? And the idea was like, forget about the logistics of how you're going to get to where you want to get. Picture yourself there. Like you can do it. And all it was like, take 5 minutes. Like go ahead, do it for yourself. But yeah, it's hard. Like,
I mean, you can do it on your car. Just sit down and just like quiet zone. And it's like also going out to nature, just
absolutely. Yeah.
Go and sit down for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Just look around you, like
put your phone in your pocket. Like
just leave it on the car and walk for 5 minutes.
Even better. Yeah.
Like walking, running. Like every time I run, I try to leave my phone it's like I get distracted. Like if I take my phone with me, like when I run the half marathon, I let my phone there. I'm like, I'm not taking it.
Do you have music on your watch?
No, I'm like, I'm music.
Wow,
Like,
that's awesome.
It's a self talk with me, right? It's
Yeah.
like it's going to a therapist for
Yeah,
it's like clear the mind. There's a lot of
awesome.
stuff flying, but it's like even for working out, like I try to start using the music less possible. That way I can have control of how I want things to be done. Like if I have less distraction, I get more things done. Yeah, it's like when I work at right now detailing, like I usually listen to podcasts. It just makes me think I'm talking to someone else, and it's like, but I usually put something that is gonna help me. Like lately, I've been just listening.
You're learning, right, while you're doing it. So yeah,
and it's like philosophy. Like lately, I've been listening to detailing. How to hit the market, how to do this. It's like, well, this is now my new job.
Yeah.
It's like to get informed and to get educated. That way, I can get my job better out there. And it's like the more informed you are, the better you're gonna be.
Yeah.
And if you just want to stay in your comfort zone, it's fine. You stay there, but it's like, don't say why he became better than me.
Yeah.
It was like don't say, hey, why he got a raise and I didn't get a raise. Like, what are you not doing that everyone else is doing? It's like never point fingers. Like it's always look at yourself first. What am I not doing? And if I'm doing everything and I'm still getting treated like shit, it comes to friendship, relationship, and job. It's like, do you belong there? Like maybe not. Like just leave.
Yeah.
Like it's not fair for.
Yeah, it's giving you the power that, like, hey, you can. The quote actually one of my bosses said today. And he's very supportive of us as individuals, not just for the company we work for. But he said that he tells everybody, like, hey, you have your tools in your tool bag. You're getting new tools now. At any point, you could pick up that tool bag and go somewhere else, right? Like, that's your prerogative.
Yeah, it's nice that you talk about it. At Deep Pelham, I had one of the manager was like, we have that toolbox, but we only know how to use a hammer. It's like, and he was talking about the manager that got hired. I'm like, he keeps doing this, like this is the only solution. So like, he only knows how to use a hammer. Yeah. I mean, that thing needs a screwdriver. Yeah. But he keeps hammering. It's like, it's not gonna fix anything. Yeah. But you can. There's things that it's like you tell those people that they need a screwdriver. It's like they won't listen because they think with the hammers they can solve everything. Yeah. So it's learning how to use your tools, how to use your equipment, how to use everything that you have in power, because we have a lot in power, but we don't know how to use it. And sometimes we just like, there's at the gym we squat, it's like there's many forms to squat. It's like depending on what do you want to work on. Like, exactly. Like okay, like but people usually just do the regular squats. And it's like they think because they keep adding weight, they're gonna grow the muscle, they're gonna be stronger. Like, you're gonna end up injuring yourself just because you want to look cool. But that's the only thing they know. And right now it's interesting because there's a lot of articles, there's a lot of social media. Like, you can get educated anywhere for free. But you have to put the work. Yeah. If you never put the work, like, it's never gonna work.
No, well, let's wrap it up, but I don't know if you have to get that or not. But, what is, I guess, like, again, like, I mean, you said a lot of, like, good little nuggets, but what is, like, one thing you want to leave people with, like, if somebody is struggling right now, let's say they went through, what you just went through, and, because again, like we just talked about, it's easy to give advice when you're feeling high and you're up top. What do you say to someone who's like, let's say even depressed, down, like how do you encourage them to say like, hey, like,
I mean, I think it's own it, accept it.
yeah,
It's okay to be down.
yeah,
There's nothing wrong with it. Talk about it.
yeah,
You know, there's people care about each other, but many times we think we're alone,
yeah,
and we are not. We avoid having deep conversation. We avoid having, like we were talking about the men. Like we as men, we struggle with a lot of stuff.
yeah,
So just talk about it and know that everything always happen either to the good or to the bad side. You know, I see life as a roller coaster. It's sometimes you're up, sometimes you're down, and it's like whenever you're up, you just know that you were down somewhere
yeah,
and enjoy that time because you earn it.
yeah,
You know, it's like when you're low, it's like accept that you're low and work on it. Work on your way to go back again. But you know, I guess we have to find a way where it's like, hey, I'm gonna be okay.
yeah,
You know, it's like, and when you see someone struggling, it's kind of like just listen to them. Like giving advice when it's not asked is also not a good thing.
yeah, absolutely, yeah,
It's like sometimes people just want to be listened, and sometimes when we speak, like it happened to me 2 weeks ago. I was speaking to my friend about all this business, and she just was like, "What are you doing? Like, you know, like this, and you should buy this, you should buy this." I'm like, I just want to speak.
I just want to vent, yeah, like, me out.
Yeah, like I don't want this right now. And she's like, well, that's why you never do this. I'm like, you know, like,
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, like, next time I know, like, I don't bend this way.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, just
no,
like,
that's good.
know your people and be there for everyone that's in need.
For whatever they need. Yeah, yeah. No, I think that's great advice. Well, again, thank you. I'll link your stuff, like shows, so like all your detailing stuff. But no, thank you. I'm gonna have to get my car detailed, and then I don't know yet. I don't know if I want to sign up for a full marathon, but we'll see. For sure, I want to sign up for.
There's a podcast that's like commit to hardship.
No, and I think that's why I want to do it, but I don't want to have to. Oh, that's good. Word. I don't want to have to take or commit the time because then it's going to take time away from the family and all that, right? So I for sure want to train to do that other competition with you. But, yeah, but we'll see about the marathon. I don't know.
Well,
I got a year to figure it out.
Pretty sure everything you end up signing up is gonna do good.
Yeah, well, no, thank you. Well, and you're gonna join me too. All right, well, thank you guys.